Wish is now available to buy on physical home media from Disney. Disney have sent over the only 4K edition of the film available in the USA, which is this Walmart exclusive Steelbook edition, somewhat of a new trend sent by the Mouse House. Wish arrives in an incredibly nice Steelbook, which features a beautiful artwork of Aisha, Valentino and Star. It's a pretty simple artwork and a pretty simple steel overall. It has a shiny finish with some nice spot gloss elements. There's also a slight metallic shimmer to the pleasing pastel colours too. The set comes as a 2-disc edition, featuring the movie on both 4K Ultra High Definition disc and Blu-ray disc. It also includes a digital copy. With Wish, Disney celebrates their 100th anniversary. It's a film that throws back to the long line of Disney classics, paying homage to one of the most magical and spectacular storytelling legacies in Hollywood history. Unfortunately, I found it to be rather shallow, joyless, and lacking that real Disney magic that it so aims for. It sadly feels like filmmakers made the single most generic Disney fairy tale they could, loaded with all the typical tropes and story beats, but without the soul we've come to expect. The characters are way over the top, the songs are far too modern and annoying, and the whole thing just feels really forced. It almost ends up feeling like a parody of the Disney classics instead of actually being one of them. If you want to see a Disney celebration done right, check out the spectacular Once Upon a Studio short film, which is included on the set's Blu-ray. That said, I love that the movie has found its audience, and if you love this film, that is fantastic. This one just wasn't for me, and I don't see myself returning to it by choice anytime soon. Regardless, Wish looks fairly great on 4K. It's worth noting that the film had a 2K DI and has been upscaled to 4K, but I never find the leap that noticeable in animation between 2K and 4K to begin with, so this isn't a huge issue. The image is really quite crisp, with great textures and a fantastic HDR color pass. While the movie does have a somewhat softer palette, there are certainly many sequences of vibrant color that look truly spectacular on the format. One of my major issues with Wish is the animation style used. While I was a big defender of this style after the initial trailers sparked a backlash, I've come to realize that this really did not work at all in long form. Disney has attempted a Spider-Verse style hybrid animation, but it's really shocking to me that the studio who revolutionized this art style with their fantastic short film Paperman still doesn't know how to utilize it properly 12 years later. I understand what Disney were trying to do here, harken back to their traditional 2D roots while still producing a contemporary 3D CG animation. But in an age where people are begging for Disney to return to traditional animation, I wish they just completely committed to a fully traditionally animated feature instead of stopping so short. This chosen style does look quite good occasionally, particularly in the more elaborate, explosive musical numbers, and surprise surprise, that's what they chose to highlight the movie in the trailers. But far too often than not, the animation does seem cheap, unfinished, and quite choppy. And unfortunately, these are all visual flaws that are only highlighted further on the 4K disc. As far as special features go, for the first time in what feels like forever, we've actually been handed a fairly healthy selection of supplements here. The hallmark of this set is a really terrific hour-long behind-the-scenes documentary, which is more or less a bunch of roundtable discussions with the film's creatives in which they discuss the legacy of Walt Disney Animation and how that impacted the production of Wish. It's genuinely one of the best documentaries Disney has served up to us on a disc in a long time, and is worth the price of admission alone, even if you weren't huge on the movie. Again, we've also got the fantastic 100th anniversary short film Once Upon a Studio on here, which sees hundreds of Disney characters together for the first time. I really love this one. There's a nice little featurette recounting many of the movie's classic Disney references, a 25-minute selection of deleted scenes, including an all-new song, and a fun little gag reel direct from the recording booth. While this certainly isn't up to the standards of the original Disney Blu-ray releases 15 years ago, it's great to see so much effort put into their 100th anniversary release. Overall, Wish does come recommended on physical media, even if simply to get the 100th anniversary feature into your collection and check out the charming 60-minute documentary, which I really quite enjoyed. At a point in time where Disney's physical media outlook seems quite bleak, they could also certainly do with your support on this release. Thanks once again to Team Disney for sending this one over. And at that, I want want to know your thoughts on Disney's Wish, and if you're excited to get your hands on the physical disc. As always, join the conversation down below.